Candela, hypnotherapist, transformation coach, and a spiritual teacher. You're about to listen to a recording of one of my regression sessions. If you enjoyed the content on my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you click on the bell, it will inform you of any of my future postings. Also, leave a comment and click like, because that helps to bring this kind of content to more viewers. I hope you enjoy the recording, and I hope to see you again in my future videos. I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see as you reach the surface.
Water.
Are you in the water or do you see it?
Standing on it.
What do you mean on it?
Standing on the water.
Now, do you see anything else next to you?
It's dark.
Does it feel like daytime or nighttime?
Don't know.
Okay. So I want you to look down at where your feet would be and tell me what you're wearing on them.
I'm not sure.
Are you in a physical body?
Yes.
Do you have a sense that you're
Either
wearing?
sandals or barefoot.
And so become aware of your body and tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Can't see anything. I just feel air.
Like breeze?
Yes.
Cool.
I have hair on my body.
Is it covering your entire body?
Just like the front.
Is it a lot of hair?
Yes.
I'd like you to look down into the water and you will see your reflection. Describe to me what you see.
A giant eye staring back at me.
Where is that eye?
In the water.
Is it just the eye?
That's all I see.
Is that your reflection?
I don't know.
Do you have any feelings when you look at that eye?
Fear and calmness.
Are you afraid of the eye?
I think so.
Become aware of why you're there on the water.
I'm not sure.
I want you to sense the water. Since you said you're standing on it, does the water feel solid? Are you touching it?
I have somebody, but everything is just different. My feet are on the water, but the water feels like gas. Like smoke vapors.
Is it holding you up?
Yes and no. Feet are making contact in it, but I'm choosing not to go inside.
So you can make that choice to sink or to stand above it?
I can.
Would it be safe for you to sink into the water?
No, I don't think so.
Is there something underneath?
The eye. It's just staring at me, watching, doesn't blink.
You will begin to become more and more aware of why it is there.
I noticed it, but it just seems like it was always there watching.
So it's not necessarily waiting for you or watching you?
Yeah, well, not sure. Something just came back. Kind of funny. Can't tell if it's a monkey or a kid, but he's climbing out of a tree. I think it's me. Then he starts playing around, looking through the grass, then just goes in the water. And that's when I noticed it. Giant eye. At first I didn't know what it was. It just looked so shiny and dark. It wasn't until I was about to jump into the water that I noticed it was an eye. I don't know what this thing is, but I just feel like if I do the wrong thing, that's it.
So what do you decide to do then?
I'm just standing here, too far to jump on top of something else. Don't want to run and risk making it grab me. I'm just standing here.
Are you close to the shore?
I think I'm too far. I'm in the middle of everything. Everything is equally far apart from me. I can't reach anything.
What kind of body of water does it look like?
It looks like water, but it looks like if you could take a shadow and liquefy it, just fill the pool up with a shadow that you can't see through.
You said that you saw like a kid or a monkey in a tree. Is that who you are?
I guess.
So are you in a humanoid form, or is it more like an animal?
Can't see myself clearly. All I know is that it looks like either a kid or a monkey, and it's hairy, but just from the neck down.
I wonder if you can find yourself able to interact or communicate in some way with this eye, since you can't seem to move anywhere.
I went back in the air. I just got away from it. It kept creeping me out, so I moved away from it a while ago, but still looking right at me.
Can you float through the air? What do you do then?
I'm just looking to see if I can find somewhere else to go, but it's dark, and I don't know why, but I can see where I'm at, even though there's no light. I'm not leaving this place. At least I can see it, and it's not bothering me.
So, let me understand this. You're floating above this liquid shadow, and you're saying you're not able to float back to the land?
I can. I'm just not.
And why is that?
Because that thing is down there.
But it's not on the land, is it? Would you be safer if you get back to the land?
The only thing I can see is what looks like shadows of a tree. And I'm definitely not going near that.
You don't want to go back to the tree either?
The tree that I came off of is gone. I've seen them before. You get too close to them and they grab you. They don't let go. I'm not touching them. I didn't notice them until I jumped off of the water and started looking around to see where I could go. The other one is gone.
So were you looking for safety?
Yes.
Are there a lot of dangerous things around?
I don't know. I only recognize a few of them, but the rest of them I don't know.
So how long can you hover above this eye?
I don't know, but I guess I'll find out one way or another.
Do you have a sense of your age?
Can't.
Okay. Now, you may not be able to see your body, but I wonder if you can feel what your body feels like.
My face feels like a mask.
In what way?
Smooth, but leathery. Got hair everywhere else. I don't even think I'm wearing clothes.
What does your face have? Do you have eyes?
I want to say 3, but can't feel it, but I know it's there.
Okay. What else is on your face?
Teeth. Well, one tooth just hanging out of my mouth. Left side. Canine tooth.
Like a fang?
Feels that way. But it's only one of them.
Do you have teeth inside your mouth?
Yes.
Do you have a nose?
Feels like the nose of a snake. Just flat. There is 2 holes there.
Anything else on your face that you can recognize?
The hair on my head. It's like I have dreads, but this isn't any hair I ever felt. It's like plastic and silicone mixed together with rubber. It's soft and thick.
And is it the same type of hair that's on your body?
No.
What kind of hair do you have on your body?
This feels like regular human hair.
And did you say it's just on your chest or it's all over your body?
From the neck down to just below the waist. This is embarrassing. My behind is out. I think it's a monkey, but it just doesn't look right. Definitely doesn't feel right.
In what way?
Why does the hair feel like plastic, silicone, and rubber? This giant flower just came out of the water. It's round and yellow. From a distance it feels nice, but I'm not sure if it's a trap.
Are you familiar with this environment where you are? Is this where you live or are you visiting?
I don't know what this place is. It feels both familiar and foreign.
So I want you to just lean into what's familiar.
Forest.
Is that where you live?
No. The tree I mentioned before, it's not a tree. I figured it out. It's a forest. It's a living forest. It's made of vines and trees, and it's some kind of living ecosystem, but whenever it doesn't like something, it just swallows it up.
You mean like you?
That's what I get the feeling. I've seen it devour something, but I can't access the memory.
On the count of 3, I'd like you to move forward until you decide what to do next or you take your next step. 1, 2, and 3. What do you do?
It was a trap.
What was?
The flower.
Did you come in contact with it?
I touched it.
What did it do?
Touched me back. It did the same thing those vines did, but it didn't cut me apart. It just grabbed me and it started to take me under the water, but it stopped when it realized I was scared. Then it just let go of me and then went down into the water and just looked at me.
So it let go of you when you realized that you were scared?
It was the eye.
Oh, the eye transformed itself?
Yeah. I don't know what that other one was, but right after that, something showed up and then it turned into, I'm guessing, a human or something like a human. It's giant. And whatever it is, I'm too scared to turn around.
So let me ask you again about the flower. When it realized that you were afraid, it let you go?
I'm on some planet, somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I ended up there on accident. And whatever that giant was that was behind me, I know this being, but I don't like interacting with it. Feels like one of those uncle relationships. One of those uncles that don't really talk to you, but if he does talk to you, there's usually an issue. And I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, and this being is right behind me. and I don't even want to turn around and look at it.
So let's freeze this moment, and I want to clarify a couple of things. Did you come from somewhere else traveling here?
Yes.
Were you not meant to visit this place?
No. Something happened and I got separated.
Who were you traveling with?
Brothers, sisters, everyone. I guess I saw something and got too excited and fell out. Got drawn into the environment. I guess I have to take it back.
Where were you traveling from?
I don't know. We came from somewhere, but what we were traveling on ended up being a home, and everywhere is home, but I can't get back to them.
So you accidentally ended up in this space?
Yes.
So the being that is standing behind you that you don't want to turn around and see, isn't that part of your family who came to get you back?
No.
Who is it?
This is something else. We are like kids, and whatever that thing was that we were traveling on, it wasn't just our home. It was us. It was the main us, but all the other ones are fragments of it, but whatever this thing behind me was put here, like, I'm not sure if I should use security guard or a gardener, but this thing takes care of and protect things, but I'm not supposed to be here and I don't know what's about to happen.
Is he protecting the place that you intruded in?
No, I'm looking at him, but I think whoever this is also this giant eye in the water. It sensed me and it saw me, but it came from behind me, and the only other thing I could think of was it was too dark, but now that you're here, I can suddenly see. The eye disappeared, the flower's gone, everything kind of moved away from me. And then it was just me standing there and this one walking up behind me apologized to me.
For what?
Told me I wasn't going to like it here, but I fell off and I have to wait until they come back around to get me. It's going to take some time, but I'll at least be safe.
So it didn't intend to harm you?
No.
And that's why the flower withdrew when it sensed that you were afraid?
Yes.
Is this the guardian and it just show up in different forms?
I'm not sure. This place is made up of many things, but this creature behind me, I only recognize it as the eye. I'm still not even sure if it was the flower or not. The only thing that's still here is this water. I guess now I know why I used to be afraid of deep water.
So what do you decide to do while you're waiting for your ship to come back and get you?
Told me I could either stay there and be bothered by things, or I could go a little further in and it'd be a little easier to deal with. He asked me what I wanted to do. Well, I said I didn't know. Told her to pick for me, since I know it can't hurt me. Came towards me, gave me a hug. Next thing I know, floating in darkness, but it's closed in. Feels safe. Like it.
What do you mean it's closed in?
It's like being inside of a ball, but it's not a ball. It's dark. It's wet, but it's warm.
You said the ship or the thing you were traveling in was you. Tell me about you.
The main us came from that place. That place itself is just one giant organism. It looks like there's many, but it's really just one. It's like it broke itself down and shredded itself up, and instead of destroying it, it just let the shreds take on its own personality.
Was that a physical place?
I don't think so. It's a lot of light, but I see mostly white. That smoke, it's here, but it's not black, it's white. I think I'm at one of our relatives' houses. That's what this planet is. It's not my home. We were visiting relatives, and I got too close. And I fell into their house, and I have to wait until they come back around to get me. It's a reflection of our world, but it's not complete.
Is it one of the shreds?
It is, but it isn't. It's more like the shred came out and not really split, but it multiplied, but it didn't make a copy of itself. The best way I can explain it is an asexual woman got pregnant and reproduced on its own. Except instead of having it come directly out, the body just turned into smoke and divided in half, but regenerated the rest of what it took off of the other half. But because it was different, it couldn't stay. Because it couldn't stay, it had to go somewhere. But because it had to go somewhere, they made homes for everyone and then just put them everywhere. And then once every few amount of time, everyone from the lighthouse, the main source, we get on one of the bigger shreds and then we just leave. We leave, but we leave to come back. We leave because we want to see everyone else. We want to make sure that they're alright, that they're fine. Everyone was happy. Everyone had their own home. Everyone had somewhere to go. But stuck until they get back.
Are they going to know where they left you?
They know where I am. They just can't go back. They can only move forward, and they have to complete the turn before they can come back again. Can't go backwards. You have to go forwards. And I'm at the middle, so it's going to be a while.
So they're traveling in a specific pattern?
Consider it like a circle or clock. You start at 12, but you have to get back to 12. You can only go forward. You can't rewind the clock. But you also only use that clock once every year.
I see.
I have to wait too damn long.
And is that time going to be spent just within that enclosed space, or are there other things you can do?
I don't know. I know that there's a connection between this place and how I got here.
Now you said that it's like one of the relatives' homes. So are there others of you that live here?
They're all us, but they're different. You remember how I said they split off earlier? The one that multiplied?
Mm-hmm.
When they split off, they become something completely different. The two that I was talking about earlier, they were the same. They came from the same shred, but one was filled with light and the other one was dark. One you could see right through. The other one just looked like he was looking at a black wall, but it had a figure to it. And I'm in the opposite environment that I belong in.
Allow time to just stand still for a moment. Imagine yourself back in your home environment and describe your world to me.
There is no age here. There is no old. There is no young. Everyone is just there. Everyone's the same with the exception of the ground and the main one that sits up high.
Who's that?
I don't know. None of us know. All we know is he was here first. He made us. We asked for something to do, and he gave us something to do. We asked to be happy, and he made us happy.
He's your creator?
I'm not sure if he's a creator or a father, but we came from whatever he is or did.
And he's always there?
Always there. Even when he's not there, he's there.
Okay. Do you interact with him?
Not really. You don't really interact with him unless you have a task for him, something that you want. That's the only thing that makes him happy. He doesn't want anyone to do anything for him except give him a challenge. I think he just kind of got bored with things and just made us and was just like, hey, I don't know what to do. Y'all figure it out for me, and then if it makes you happy, I'll do it.
So do you go to him with requests?
Never had one.
Do you know anyone who did ask him for something?
One kid. Funny. We're all the same. There is no age, but this one seems new. He asked to play a game. And it was the most absurd thing that we had ever heard, but we thought something bad was about to happen. And then he granted his wish. But as soon as he granted it, he got sent somewhere.
What did he ask for? To play a game?
He said he wanted to have a game that was somewhat similar to the way we live right now, the first colony or whatever. It's just two kinds, and then we're on two different sides of the field. One has to win. There has to be rules and guidelines. I'm not asking to be the best, but I'm asking for just enough to figure out what to do next or to do well with what I'm given. That way I can make the game interesting. The point of the game that everyone missed was he wanted to start a game with the big guy that made the big guy interact. But not just interact, he wanted the big guy to move. Everyone always wanted to see him do something, but no one knew just what to do or what to ask for. Every time someone thought that they were asking for some giant, smart, grand thing, you could see it on his face. It was just like a letdown. Just irrelevant. Just, sure, whatever. Here you go. Next request. But this guy, he created something that we couldn't even understand. We kind of had to come up with our own understanding of it, but in the process, we came up with something that was completely different from what he was actually saying and doing, and that was the first concept that we had of something being wrong. We thought something was wrong, but it was the complete opposite. This game that this one kid had challenged the big guy with honestly seemed like the best thing after everyone could grasp the concept. He found a way to explain it to one of the others that was there. Again, we're all the same, but there's different levels. The one that he described it to, it's like he was always there, but he wasn't there. You never saw him, and then when you saw him, it was like, where did this guy come from? He came out, and he took his middle finger and his index finger, and put the middle finger on his heart, and the index finger on his head. Took a deep breath, jumped back like something was wrong, then stood up and looked at him and started smiling. Eyes lit up like a camera. Those old cameras from the 90s that had the flash that you had to activate before the disposable cameras. Imagine one of those flashes going off, but instead of it just being a quick flash, it was just a continuous stream that just kind of blinded everything else out. So this guy is standing there, and then he's just smiling with those eyes just glowing up. And the big guy is like, you just came up with something great. I'm going to enjoy this. So for the first time, we see him come off of the throne, chair, whatever you want to call it, that he's sitting on. Picks up the little guy, and he sprinkles something on him. I don't know what it is, but it was something that everyone always wanted, but we never seen but one person get it sprinkled on them before. And we don't even remember what happened to that guy. He sprinkled it on him, cupped his hands, and then blew into his hands, and it looked like a giant blue light was coming from out of everywhere. Then he dropped one of his fingers so that the hole could come up in the back of his hand, and then blew really hard. And the same kid that was there, we don't know where he is, where he went, or what happened. All we know is he was here, then he was gone. The big guy, instead of him turning back to his chair, he grabs the other guy and turns the lights down so that everyone else can go back to being normal. No need to cause attention since the excitement isn't even getting started yet. It's like everyone was in a trance and then we snapped out of it. the lights go away, and then everyone just kind of went back to being our usual childish selves. Imagine if Earth didn't have hunger, if there was no need for food or water, if pain was irrelevant, you couldn't get hurt. Like, knives would just be a toy. Even if you cut someone, you'd never pierce the skin and hurt them. That's what this place was. There's no sense of good or evil. There's just playful children that just don't know any better. This guy wanted to create something that was just so completely absurd and different that if it would have been allowed to exist in our home, it would have turned everything against itself. And that same feeling that the big guy was feeling, everyone would feel, but on a much greater sense. I think he got shot to a different dimension, and when he got to that dimension, he was the catalyst, and those thoughts that he had for that game or whatever just kind of took on forms, and next thing you know, it just became a planet, and the planet had different creatures, and I think that guy got sent to Earth, but I'm not sure. I can't explain it. If the same thing that happened up there happened down here, due to our perception of good versus evil, that would have been seen as blasphemy against the big guy.
Which was seen as the creator?
Yes, but they didn't take it as serious there as they do here. Again, he didn't want anything except for requests. He wanted to make other people happy, but here they look at God as if he's some benevolent being that could be malevolent at any moment, but it's not like that there. We didn't refer to him as God, we didn't refer to him as anything, just a big guy. Most of us are the same size, but not this guy. This guy is like 10 times bigger than all of us. When he walks somewhere, you know. The usuals will run around, run past each other, bump into each other, throw each other, drag each other underwater. It's a game. But when you see him coming, it's just like, well, you better not do this to this person because you may not like what happens next.
So help me understand what this person who was sent away did in a sense.
He came up with the concept of turning his home into a circus or something. He wanted to turn it against itself. And everyone absolutely hated it. But it wasn't until the one that had the glowing eyes that I was telling you about, when he touched them in his heart and his head. And he did that because he wanted to feel if there were any malice or any intent that would have been ill towards anyone or anything. We were like children, but we weren't allowed to do anything on a massive scale unless it wouldn't cause irritation amongst the masses. But sometimes it would be allowed because, again, if you can alter the mindset and have people just forget about it or just see it as funny, what's the harm? No one can die. No one gets hurt. Just a little irritation. And this guy wanted to take that little irritation that we saw once every, I don't know how long, and he wanted to embed it into like an ongoing thing that was just always there and present. Basically, this guy was screwed up, but if we would have been put in this world, he would have actually been on top. He was both accepted and unaccepted at the same time. So when he came out with that, it was like, you're going to go somewhere. We're not going anywhere. We're not even going to pay attention to this.
So the one that was removed, you never saw him again?
Eventually, I saw him again.
Where did you see him again?
I don't know. I just remember seeing him. I don't even remember what he looks like. Have you ever seen someone run into a family member that they never met before, but there's the instant connection and they just know something? It's one of those moments. I won't know him until I feel him.
Mm-hmm. So after that, did your collective life go back to normal?
Right after he got sent away, the guy with the glowing eyes, his eyes went from blue to yellow and he flashed everyone. And everyone just decided to do different things. And a lot of people left with him. But when you look at the amount of people that left, it was insignificant. Yet, for some reason, there was this feeling that we just lost a part of us that we can't believe we miss right now. I think the same thing that happened to me happened to this guy. I think he fell off somewhere he wasn't supposed to be. And he's just somewhere amongst a bunch of people that's not like him, but exactly like him. And he was just looking for a way to pass the time until his people got back. And then I guess the big guy took pity or something on him and then just made this special place for him. This is kind of cool, but we got our first sense of time just observing the place, and then we realized that even if we spent a lifetime with him, it would only be about a few seconds. Same thing as closing your eyes and then open them back up.
Who's the he? The big guy or the one that was sent away?
No. The guy that was sent away. The big guy never leaves the home.
So the lifetime spent with the guy who was sent away is like closing and opening your eyes?
Yes. Except that place was made specifically for him until his people get back. And then I guess the plan after that is if we get another one just like him and he doesn't want to be around us, that's cool. Well, we still got to make sure that you're all right. So go sit in your playroom.
So who are his people? Did he come to you from somewhere else?
That's the thing, I don't know. He was there just like the other guy that we don't really notice until he's gone. But this time, for some reason, we actually remember him leaving and coming back. That was like the first time we consciously saw him. Mm-hmm. Usually when you see him and then his eyes turn colors, as soon as the eyes go away, he goes away, the memory of him goes away, anything that happened while he was there goes away. But for some reason, this time, he chose not to remove that memory from us.
So when you say that some of your people were jealous and they left, what were they jealous of?
Him. Everyone spent so much time thinking about something to ask the big guy. And the one guy that actually did make him smile wasn't even one of us. He was a part of us, but he wasn't 100% us. So I guess they left to understand what it was.
Where did they go?
Wherever he got shot to.
Did they know where he was sent?
Everyone knew the same thing. We knew he was sent somewhere. Where it was, we don't know, but we can sense where he is, and it's going to be a while to get to him, but the ones that left were willing to make that trip to figure out what was going on. Most of us, we said, forget it. We're over it. I'd rather be over there playing in the water than figure out what the hell's going on over there.
So there were some that were curious about what that was, that glitch in the system, kind of?
Yeah, but it wasn't until they figured it out on this realm that they realized that there was a major problem, and we should have stayed home. Because now we have to wait for the next go-round before we can get picked up. Well, not me, because I didn't go with them, but whenever one of us is somewhere we don't belong or somewhere that's not us, 100%, the ones that are together in the main place can sense the others, but the ones that are far from us, the way I'm here now and the other guy was shot away, we can't sense source. It's like we're cut off. But it was supposed to be that way so that we can kind of generate outwardly what we have inwardly so that we can bring peace around us. I guess peace is the wrong word. It's a combination between happiness, calmness, and the feeling of knowing no matter what happens, everything happens for a reason. It can't happen any other way, but I can choose to be upset about it, or I can choose to be happy, or I can choose to be neutral. We usually like to go towards the neutral. At least me and my kind. Because, again, no sense of good, no sense of evil, no bad, no wrong, no right. Pain on our planet is just like being tickled. There is no hurting anyone. There is no killing anyone. Even an irritation becomes funny. Everything is funny.
The people that left to investigate, they came back, right?
Hell no.
Oh, they did not.
Again, the guy created something and it got sent away that was supposed to be just for him, but these idiots decided to go where he was at. But the only way to get back is to experience a bit of a lifetime there. And even then, there's no guarantee you'll get back because, again, We don't know the concept of irritation and anger and everything else, but this guy did. It was supposed to be a bubble to protect him from our irritation and to protect us from becoming conscious of what he was and what he was trying to do.
So if they went to experience that kind of reality,
once they got in that bubble, they were stuck. And the big guy is not going to let them free until the other guy goes home. And who knows how long that's going to be. But they'll be out before I get freed because I'm slightly further out than them. Long story short, by the time I get back, they should just be leaving or just getting back to their place.
Are you talking about space-wise or awareness-wise?
Soul-wise.
Is it like a soul journey in terms of the experience?
Mm-hmm.
So for them to return back, they have to gain a certain amount of experience.
Well, no. If you're referring to those of us that left to be with this guy to figure out what that was, they won't get out and become free and be able to come back until that guy's people come by and get him. Right after they come by and get him, a reset will happen, and then everyone will be knocked out of the bubble and have all the memories and everything. Of course, they have the memories, and because they're just like us, they won't start to get that childlike mind until they get closer towards home. So once they're freed, they'll be able to consciously know, we know what this is, we've been through it, we're not going back in there ever again. And they'll just come home. But they can't get out until that guy's people come by and get him. I guess that was our big guy's way of saying, okay, look, some people are going to come there just to keep you company and everything. The world on the inside is pretty much the way that you made it, but you won't be 100% alone. And you won't be left with flashes. And flashes are just like, you know how you go to sleep and there's people in your dreams, but you know that they're not real? Flashes are those things, but those things came from inside of us. They're the pieces of us that lie dormant. The pieces of us that we've learned and experienced, and even the pieces that we haven't fully grown to acknowledge yet. That's the flashes that are in his dream. Except his dream is a world. And everyone else of my people right now, they're stuck in a nightmare. They know how he felt the entire time he was up there.
So you stayed with the rest in your home, right?
Of course. He asked to leave. I wasn't planning on going anywhere until my trip time. And like an idiot, during my trip time, I got separated from the group.
So your trip time, tell me a little more about that.
Consider it like a bus station. You have a week, right? Monday through Friday are the work days. Then you got the weekend, and it is similar to that. But long story short, the first week is the first part of the trip. And during that first trip, each day is a different stop. But it's more than that, because each hour is a different stop. You're never in the same place, even when you think you are. You're just floating throughout random points. And it goes in a circle, so we start all the way from the back because we're close to the source. Our trips are longer because we have to go all the way out to the end and then come all the way back. So the best way to look at it, a way of a clock. You start, it's 12 o'clock. And then by the time you get all the way to the other half, that's 6 o'clock. You still got to fight your way through 7 through 11 o'clock just to get back to 12. And right when you get back to 12, that's usually when the next group leaves. Now, I gotta wait. I don't exactly feel like doing the math because it's just gonna upset me. Let's just say it'll take a really, really long time. And I'm gonna be stuck here for a while.
So only one group of you is traveling at one time?
That's the way it works. Because sometimes we make stops and we interact. Most of the time we don't. So sometimes the trip can be fast. Sometimes it can be slow. Sometimes it can be just right. Sometimes when we have leftovers, we let the next group pick them up so that they don't have to wait too long.
What do you mean leftovers?
Like my situation, I'm left over. I wasn't supposed to be here, but I'm here and I got left behind because Usually it's like an instant connection, but something happened with mine and I got disconnected. I think I got too curious about something and left to investigate and then got stuck.
So now return to that place where you're stuck and move forward in time. And I want you to just tell me how you're spending that time. And do you sense time?
Well, I guess that answers that question. Apparently I spend most of my time going through plants, just eating, and someone taught me fire and I learned how to smoke. All I smell is weed here, at least in the place that I usually stay.
What effect did it have on you?
Well, for one, brain doesn't think all the time. Brain doesn't go into dark places just because it can. I'm happy. I'm calm. Even though I don't know what I'm happy for, at least if I focus on the happiness, it's a lot easier to pass the time by waiting on them to come back for me. I will say this though. Apparently fear has actually become a friend of mine in a way, but not for the reason that most people would think. Again, I'm trapped here against a bunch of people that's not like me, even though they are, but this helps me go back towards that original mindset of nothing serious. You can't hurt me, you can't kill me. Even if you could, I'd just come right back. Let's have fun.
While you're there, you said you're among others that are different. You said there was some sort of guardian. Are there others?
I mean, they are, but it's just the place that I landed is weird. The others are actually away on their land. I landed in the water. The creatures I was sensing when I was there were more like animals. Animals I can deal with. But these other spirits, I just can't do it. I hate it.
You said that fear became your friend. Tell me more about that.
In order for me to find peace, I have to find something that pushes everyone else away. Something that makes everyone either afraid or not want to deal with me altogether. And so, these same things that used to horrify me, I went to them because at least when I was around there, they don't talk, but they don't bother me either. They just let me be. They'll try to interact every now and then, but it's not harmful. I will go there to get away from everyone else. Because again, this is their world just here. Except the difference between my people and their people, we look at everyone as a friend. They take things too personal. Their mind is too developed. They get mad over the smallest thing. It's so inhuman it actually makes sense that they are humans. The smallest thing, just something simple and stupid and insignificant. We laugh. They get upset.
So I'd like you to move forward in time to the moment when something changes in your situation. And tell me what changes.
A vision, but I'm not sure if it's just for me or something that actually happened to this place. I hope it didn't happen to this place. Those guys were annoying, but they didn't deserve that. I'm smoking. It looks like a pit, like the darkest place. No one's gonna come looking for me here. And as I'm looking up, I start seeing red, and then I realize they're on fire, and next thing you know, there's a lot of water, but it's not like the regular water. It's just like blue and shiny, like liquid lightning. Nothing looked right, but all you could tell was just a bunch of stuff being destroyed. I never seen, heard, or sensed anyone being hurt or dying nearby, but it was both horrifying and peaceful at the same time. The only thing I could think of was, if this place gets destroyed, there has to be a way for me to get home immediately. So, they died. Who cares? They'll be back soon. I get to go home.
As you move forward, how does it resolve?
The place I'm on gets destroyed. Some are dying, others actually want to die. And then this one light came out of nowhere. I recognized the light, but I couldn't get to it. Apparently something had happened, and it wasn't just that planet that got destroyed. It was a bunch of them that were nearby.
What caused it?
That I'm not sure of. All I know is it was half intentional, half an accident. It happened between one of my people and, let's just say, one of the opposition. These people, that guy that I mentioned earlier that everyone liked and disliked, imagine him but 100 times worse, except more human than anything else. Like when I say human, I mean the bad parts, the arrogance, the loudness, the demanding, the you do this just because I said this or you're going to get what I give you type thing. Whatever happened between one of them and one of us. And a lot of things got destroyed. And instead of them making things over one at a time, they made 3 balls. And those 3 balls turned into 3 planets. And those 3 planets equally pulled everyone up to them. And there was some type of sorting so that certain undesirables wouldn't be stuck in the same place and end up causing the same thing over again. No matter which planet you're on, you're never going to meet your worst enemy. We got sorted, and then we got sent away, each in their own direction. And it messed up the order, too. So everyone that was waiting to be picked up, it started everyone's timer over at the same time.
So where do you end up?
In the air. I'm on a planet. I have the option to go down, but I don't want to go down because I don't want to risk being stuck in the same planet like I was last time. But I can't go out because I know if I go out, I'm going to drift off somewhere and I'll never be able to get back. I just decided to go with the better option to get back home.
Which is float above the planet?
No, I went into it.
So does your weight restart? The cycle restart?
Yeah, now I have to wait more time, but also it reset things. And then in the midst of everything, everyone that was waiting to be picked up lost track. When they did the sorting and everything, it made it better and worse because 9 places were destroyed. And they took 3 of each and sorted through them. And the ones that would be too problematic, they just kind of found a better option between one of the other 2 and left them there and just shuffled things around. So now instead of only having 1 main type on each planet, you got 3 melting pots with different people there.
So tell me about the people in this place where you are. What are you seeing around you?
That is unclear. I was reluctant, but at this point, I'm just pretty happy I came down here.
Tell me about your experience.
So when I got down here, I saw one of the other ones from where I just came from, and I just knew it was going to be horrible. There were others there, these I got along with, but I wasn't them. It was like I was an outlier, he was an outlier. We didn't like each other, but I didn't like the way that they were treating him. He's an ass. Yeah, no one deserves to be treated like this. And just like that, me and this ass became conditional friends. This one I have met a couple of times.
In other life experiences?
Mm-hmm. It's always the same one. That one friend that always gets you in trouble. But you just accept him. He's got your back and you got his.
So can you tell me what that planet looks like?
Mountains, caves, earth, water, sun. Temperature's always the same. Not hot, but not cold. It's just warm. You eat, but it's not what you think. It's more like recreation. It just has a bunch of fruit and vegetables just growing everywhere wildly, and they're all mixed together. So just going down there is an adventure in itself because first you got to get there. Once you get there, then you got to figure out what you want to eat. You don't go there that often because, again, it's for recreation. Most people only went there like once every 1 or 2 weeks, grab 1 or 2 pieces, enjoy them. They had the biggest high off of just talking about how sweet or how sour or how nasty it was. It wasn't really more so about I want to be full or I just want to go eat so much as what does this taste like and how intense can you make it?
Become more aware of your body and tell me if you're getting a better sense of what you look like.
And kind of look like a caveman with a damaged tail, damaged monkey tail.
How did you damage it?
Don't know.
What about the others? What do they look like?
More like humans from this planet, but with a little animal in them. Some of them look like lions, some look like tigers, some look like monkeys, some look like dogs, some look like pigs, some look like capybaras. If you could go back to ancient Egypt when they had the half human, half animals, it looks like a melting pot of that. Like, even though they have a body that's like a human because it has 2 arms and 2 legs, the monkeys are still hairy. The cats have fur. The pigs are smooth skinned. They don't have no hair.
It seems like now you're having a better time than when you were all by yourself, stuck in that first planet.
Yeah. But it's kind of messed up because the people I want to play with, I can't because I messed that up when I first got here because I decided to take this ass side instead of theirs. But I couldn't just let them gang up on them.
So move forward to the time when again you move to the next step. And you can experience yourself moving through that cycle, getting closer to the time when those of your kind are going to come and find you again, so you can be reunited. As you arrive to that next step, become aware of what happens next.
Well, this isn't right. Or like me.
What happens?
They came back, but I wanted to stay.
Why is that?
I don't know. Something was happening. I was enjoying it. I said I'll stay. I guess whatever happened in those few moments was worth it to stay and wait through all that time again just for them to come back for me.
So you're planning to stay another cycle until they return?
Well, I didn't plan. I stayed. I told them, get me the next time. They left.
So you still plan to go back just after another cycle?
Yeah. No, I see what happened. Me and the guy that was stuck here that originally didn't like each other, everyone else ended up ganging up on us. Somehow, certain concepts from other places got to this place. We understood certain things of good and bad, and because people were just doing a bunch of bad stuff, that place was getting destroyed, and I had the option to leave. I stayed because I wanted to watch it. It was that important to me.
To watch what?
To watch all of them go away.
The bad people?
Well, they weren't really bad people so much as just idiots.
So what was it that you wanted to watch?
To make sure everything was being destroyed and everyone was being destroyed with it. Even if it meant I got destroyed. I get to see them go away. But the big guy from my place made a copy or a clone and sent him to me. He just wanted to see how I was doing and how the other guy was doing, and this one was here, but there was also another one that was there that wasn't mine. Apparently these two didn't want to deal with each other, but at the same time they agreed to do it just so they could come by and check on all of us. And when they got to us, they realized everything was going against us. Me and this guy were the same as my big guy and their big guy, and when they saw everyone gang up against us, these two looked at each other, decided to play nice, and instead of them taking care of it, they gave everything to us, and we destroyed that place. But right before we could really destroy it, they said something to us, and all we remember was they let this happen because it was unfair what happened to us. And also because two opposites that shouldn't be agreeing on anything all of a sudden decided to come together on something. But we were mad because who my big guy was and because of what he wanted, We had to bring everyone back, but we left those memories in them so that they can remember why not to do things like that.
So you destroyed that planet where you were staying and the people that lived on it?
That's what I get out of it.
And then you were going to go back to your home?
Well, I was going to, but the options were either leave and go home or stay and destroy that place and wait another turn.
So if you stay and destroy it, you'd have to wait a third turn?
Yes.
And you decided to stay?
Yes, this is the second time it was destroyed.
How were you going to destroy it?
Earthquakes, fire, animals, pretty much all of the wild things.
Did you have control over those things?
Well, I had control over some. The other guy had control over the other. I did some, he did some. But those two, my big guy and his big guy, brought everyone back before they left.
They brought back whom?
All the people that we just destroyed.
They brought them back?
Mm-hmm.
To where?
To where we were at. We destroyed the planet, but not completely. It didn't destroy the structure, the main things that we needed.
So they killed the people, but the planet was still there?
Right. We destroyed the people and everything that they had built.
And they allowed the planet to be populated again?
There was nothing to populate. What they did was they let us kill them and then they brought them back.
Well, how did they bring them back? Did they revive the same bodies?
Yep.
Why did they do that?
Because it was against our nature.
To kill?
Well, it's against my nature to experience anger. It's against their nature to kill.
So why were you allowed to kill and destroy them if that goes against your nature?
Because they did a lot of things to us that was against their nature. They started it. All we wanted to do was just destroy everything. We didn't want anyone else to go through what we went through.
But they were going to undo it anyway.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't know that they were going to do that. We thought that we were just going to destroy everything and then they just destroy us. But we destroyed everything and then they hit us with the, hey, look, that's your stress reliever. We're going to bring them back and we're going to explain something to them and then you all shouldn't have any issues like that again. Then we're going to leave.
So what happened after they were brought back?
Kind of like a massive revelation. Just everyone acknowledging the same thing at one time. What just happened, why it happened, why it was allowed to happen. It looked more so like parents explaining to children why they shouldn't fight, but on just like a massive scale.
Like the whole planet?
Yeah.
And so what did they understand?
Soul is a soul. No matter where it comes from, other people were trapped on other planets and they had much better treatment than what we had because I agreed to be friends with this guy. We weren't allowed to do things. We weren't allowed to go places. We were pretty much left on a small island that felt like a cage. And people would just come by, pick at us and just throw stuff at us and they'd come in, destroy our stuff and then all the food and everything. Well, my nature drove me towards suicide. His nature drove him towards deciding not to reproduce ever again. That didn't sit right with our big guys. First and only time we saw and felt discomfort on our guys. And that's when the deal was made. We destroy everything, treat them the same way they treated us. And after the last person drops dead, they're going to bring everyone back and explain why that happened. And at the end of it, they doomed us all to another term of waiting because of what we did, the whole planet. And they left just to make sure that everything went smoothly. One pass would happen without us being aware or conscious of it. And turns out that the planets that we weren't stopped at were similar to what happened here. we're able to stop. We can see them. They can't see us. They can't even sense us. But a few of them will know that something's there. And my biggest question as far as what's that like, I finally got answered. I didn't appreciate it, but at least I understood what it was.
Your question about what's what like?
What do you mean?
Explain to me again what you just said. Your biggest question about what that got answered. So you were left there for another cycle. You didn't have a conscious understanding of it or memory of it?
I don't think I was supposed to remember because I was one of the people that was done wrong. Retarded child like mine, had I been able to remember all of that as a child, I'm pretty sure I would have been an asshole to everyone growing up. And I'm assuming both my higher self and the main guy didn't want that to happen, so I guess they waited till now for me to kind of understand.
Are you now still in that cycle?
I'm not sure what cycle I am in. All I know is it feels never ending.
So I want you to become aware of whether eventually you were picked up by your people.
Well, that's the thing. A full turn had to happen before we could be conscious of anything or even see them coming.
So has the full turn not happened yet?
I know my people have come and then left, but I don't think they've come back again. The only reason I know that is because when we're creative, we're usually tore off in two, and my other half was a girl. I didn't see her, I didn't hear her, but I felt her.
That was at the beginning when you were first created?
No, that was during the last time they came and left. I guess she wanted me to know that they could see us, and the first half was done. I just had to sit tight and wait for them to come back again. And same thing for the other guy.
As you were continuing to live there, your family could come back and they could see you, but you could not be conscious of them?
Just the one time.
Okay, so who was the girl that was part of you?
That was me. She completes me.
So at which point did you split off?
At the moment of conception. We've always been both together and separate, near and far.
Has the big guy come back since?
No. They don't leave. They don't like leaving. Like I said, if they leave, there's something seriously wrong. The fact that they let me and the other guy kill everyone on that planet and destroy everything and then brought them back, yeah, there was something pretty wrong with what they were doing.
Did they feel responsible for it in some way?
Yes and no. One kind of knew it would happen. The other one was just like, let's give them a chance to see what happens. So part of it was intentional, but the other part wasn't.
So I want to understand what happened to you after. So they left, and they left you there.
They left me and the other guy, but they also did something else too. So again, we weren't really supposed to be friends, be complete opposites. But they saw how close we had gotten, and in their words, we're too dangerous to be left together. So they separated us. Not by far. They left us on the same planet, but they have a way of messing with your head. So I forget him, he forget me, yet we constantly run into each other. We see each other as both an asshole and a friend. I guess that's what made us good friends, because we had a lot of fun together, even when we were fighting.
So as you move forward, just become aware of long-term progress. What do you continue to do? Do you stay on that planet? Do you have other experiences?
There was one point, what in this life I want to say is either astral projection or lucid dream. But there was also a element of possession. I could leave my body in different lifetimes and go to other places, take over their bodies, memories, and everything, and pretty much act on their behalf, and just get the experience from different viewpoints from all over. Spent a lot of time doing that.
It sounds like you were moving away from that just pure childlike joy and gaining a lot of different experiences.
The outer planets have that effect on everyone. The further away you are from source, the less childlike you are and the more conscious you become. The more active you think, the more things you need to make you happy. I prefer it the other way. I'd rather be happy for a week than become a millionaire in a year and then a billionaire the next. It's just too much work.
Become aware where you are in the cycle at the moment.
Close. It's not there yet, but we're past the halfway mark.
In your journeys, have you gone through different universes, different planets?
Yes, but I guess I got stuck in a few places, voluntarily and involuntarily. For my possessions, sometimes what'll happen is they'll want to be free, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be able to do this or not, but I will leave a piece of my soul in their body and they kick them out of theirs. If they choose to leave on their own, I can pretty much keep that shell. So at one point I was just getting a bunch of people that was considered undesirables from the places where I needed to be, and I'd offer them this chance. Step out of the shell, I'll take over this shell. You can go back to your home planet. You don't like it here, you don't like them. I get to stay over and stay here with them. I'm more like them than you are. I'll enjoy it here. I get what I want, you get to go home.
Is that how you came to Earth?
No, that's not how I got here, although it is tied to it. Again, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be doing it, but when they found out that I could do it, my guy came directly after me, grabbed me, and took me somewhere. Told me I had two options. Either I can go to the council and I can be destroyed, ripped up, and then repurposed, or I could let him remove my memories of everything that I was doing and why I was doing it in front of the council, and then finish out my sentence on that planet and then go back home. Alternative, just get ripped to shreds and then repurpose. But if that happens, they'll also have to destroy her because she's my other half and I can't let that happen. So after having the memories taken out, I'm not sure if I came directly here or if there was time in between here, but that was definitely before this one.
So what I'd like you to do now is just allow all of those images to begin to fade gently away. I'd like to ask Thomas's higher consciousness to step forward and speak to us. Can I speak to you and ask you some questions?
Yes.
Thank you. You have just given us a very interesting review of the unfolding soul journey as it moves through this cycle, this learning journey of the consciousness before it can return to the source. Can you tell us why you presented it that way and why it is relevant to Thomas today?
He is of one way, and this place is of another. He needs to see things in a way that'll keep him going forward, not backwards. Can't stay stuck.
Is he stuck right now?
More or less.
Are you talking about being stuck in his human experience or stuck in that overall journey within the bigger cycle?
Both.
What makes him stuck?
He wants to get away from the bad things, but he has to deal with them in this lifetime. He looking for an easy way, but there is none. Trying to see something that's not there. Trying to give a positive outlook on things that shouldn't be looked at positively.
Like what?
Let's just say, although there are times where you have to confuse or hurt someone to save them, you shouldn't look forward to doing that every time just because you've learned it. Not everything that's learned needs to be replicated. Not everything that's learned should be passed on to others.
Are you talking about human learning and human behaviors, or is it from previous experiences that he's trying to replicate here?
Well, the ones from this human life actually resurface everything from the previous ones. So, if we could just deal with this part, we won't have to worry about him going backwards.
Can you point out specific learnings to him that he can release and let go?
No. All I can say, that which is meant for you will not pass you. And that which should pass you will make itself known before you do something you don't want to regret.
So is that what is keeping him stuck, engaging in things that it is time to let go of?
At this point, a new start would probably be best.
And what do you mean by that?
People. He moved to this place so that he could meet family, but they take him in the opposite direction that he needs to be. And though he separates himself from them when they come knocking, sometimes he just relents and just lets them in, just because it's his nature.
So what should he do?
Leave.
Find another location to be in?
Yes.
And find new people to associate with?
He doesn't have to find anything. Like I said, that which is meant for you will not pass you. And that which shall pass you, or should, will make itself known.
So I have some questions for you. Since childhood, he has been lucid dreaming and being able to do things in those dreams. But that has, to some extent, gone away.
Taken.
It was taken from him.
Doesn't need it.
Explain to him why he does not need it.
His environment wasn't exactly favorable. He needed a way to escape, and that's what that was for. As an adult, although he's around the same environments, he doesn't have the same threats he used to. Instead of him focusing on going elsewhere, he needs to take a good look at what he has in his area, decide what he's keeping, decide what he's throwing away, and then move forward.
So it's about grounding into this reality and dealing with things instead of escaping them.
It's about accepting the fact that you can change what you can and not letting something plague you that you can't change or do anything about.
Is his ability to interact with dreams going to return, or it's always going to be distraction for him?
Either during periods of peace or during periods of turmoil, but not when he's happy. If he's happy, it'll be just like closing his eyes and opening them the next moment.
So he also wants to understand why he hasn't been able to focus on one task or one thing or empty his mind. He was able to do that earlier in his life, but now his mind is very busy and he can't do that.
Again, his environment when he was a kid, not that favorable. The mind is the most important thing. If the mind goes, so will he.
So now that his environment has changed, what prevents him from focusing?
The fact that he hasn't experienced his freedom. He is trying to silence the thoughts, but his true thoughts that are giving him ideas, he thinks distraction. He thinks it's something that's to hinder him when it's something he has to deal with. He has to go through the thoughts. He has to acknowledge what he has to keep and what he doesn't like. Until he does that, he won't be able to go back out. He's not being allowed to leave because he has no reason to leave. He can work in his environment, not in his head.
So one of his questions is why he smokes so much. Do you want to address it?
That was from the first planet, and as a reminder to him, he will get home, but for right now, home is far. This is what you have now to remind you of home. Enjoy it.
Is it detrimental to his health or his mental well-being in any way?
Yes and no. Smoking is okay, but not at the rate he's been doing.
So what should he do?
He knows. He has to drink it.
Drink what?
What he's smoking.
So that will reduce the amount?
That will give him a break so that his lungs can recover.
Then he also wanted to know why he's afraid of heights.
He's afraid of heights because when he first left and got separated, the last thing he remembers before waking up in the void was falling, and that fear of being separated from his family.
Are you able to help him now remove the trauma that came from that experience so that he no longer needs to be afraid?
That is a piece of him and that we can't change. It's part of what makes him him. Probably best for him to hold on to that for now.
Okay. Since he was a child, he's had this either memory or awareness of an experience that was almost like a dream.
That was a memory, and that was the first planet. We've already discussed this. That was from him falling towards the planet, or should I say being pulled towards the planet by getting too close. He met his brother. He went too close and got pulled in.
Okay, so when he wanted to return, that was him wishing to return back to his home.
Correct.
Okay. He also had a safe place where he used to connect with his younger self, which was a library. And he seems to think that there were specific steps that he established for him to connect with that space. But then he forgot what those steps are. And now he's not sure how to reconnect with it. So can you speak to him about how he can connect with his younger self?
He has to remember the safeguard and how to draw it. After he draws the safeguard, everything else will come back. Just tell him to start with the star and then go from there. He'll understand.
Does it matter the location in his mind where he connects with his younger self?
Yes. That library is like a bank. The books that he's storing aren't just books and knowledge, but also memories as well, including those he doesn't want to deal with. The kid is his younger self and soul. He's pretty much given authority to that being to act for the best good.
So is this like an Akashic library?
Similar. You can take your memories and turn them into dreams and live through them again, and then restore the memory, change it, whatever you want.
He's had all kinds of abilities since childhood, and he has been feeling that a lot of them are gone now, and he feels stuck. So I'm wondering if you can also talk about that.
Turmoil or peace. He's either going to have to mentally go through hell, or he's going to have to separate and find peace that he can't have disturbed.
Can you say any more about that?
If you're not at peace, you're going to dream about whatever it is that was the last thing on your mind. And if it was nothing good, then nightmares will come.
So are you saying that he has to be more concerned about his state of mind and not so much about the experiences?
Just conscious in how he deals with them.
Okay. He is interested in losing weight, and he wanted to know what the best approach to it would be. And the two options he mentioned are surgery or ayahuasca.
That was more so a choice that he was supposed to make, that he wanted to push onto me.
So what would you say to him?
Ask what the third option would be, unless he's planning on doing both.
Is there a preference for one or the other, or something else?
Something else. That is a decision he has to make. That's not a valid question to me.
Okay. What I'd like you to do is run a body scan and tell me if there is anything that needs attention or that's out of balance.
Left side of chest.
What is there?
Something he needs to remove.
And what is that?
A block.
How is it affecting him?
That I can't say.
Why not?
Because it's something he needs to do and discover on its own.
So how can he remove it?
Cleansing, raising, clearing, storing, releasing.
Is it all energetic?
For the most part.
Is he going to know what to do consciously?
Yes.
Would he use Reiki for that?
One of the tools.
What would be the others?
Another technique he developed.
Okay. Continue with the scan, please.
Shoulder.
Which one?
Left.
And what is there?
Needs to stretch.
Is that something that he needs to do or you can do for him now?
He needs to do.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you for completing that scan. I'm assuming it's completed. So I'm asking the higher consciousness to recede to where it belongs with much love and thanks for the help and information that it has given us today.